Now let's talk about retirement risk number 3, Medicare IRMAA and hidden retirement taxes. This is one of my favorite topics because almost nobody has heard of it, yet it can quietly cost retirees thousands of dollars every year. In fact, many people don't discover IRMAA exists until after they've already triggered it. Let's start with the basics. IRMAA stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. That's a complicated government term for something that's actually very simple. The more income you report, the more you may pay for Medicare. Most people assume Medicare costs are the same for everyone. They're not. Your Medicare premiums can increase based on your income. And for successful professionals who have done a great job saving, that can come as a very unpleasant surprise. Now let's think about the typical manufacturing professional. You've spent decades contributing to your 401k. You've accumulated substantial retirement assets. You may have a pension, you may receive Social Security, you may have investment income. Perhaps you're consulting part-time after retirement. Individually, none of these things seem like a problem, but when they all begin stacking together, your taxable income can rise much higher than expected, and that's when IRMAA enters the picture. Many retirees are shocked to learn that a large withdrawal from a 401k can potentially increase their Medicare premiums. A required minimum distribution can increase their Medicare premiums. Selling certain investments can increase their Medicare premiums. Even decisions that seem perfectly reasonable at the time can create unintended consequences later. What makes this particularly frustrating is that most people were never warned about it. They spent years focusing on investment growth. Nobody explained how retirement income would affect Medicare. Nobody explained how taxes and healthcare costs are connected. Nobody explained how one financial decision can trigger multiple consequences, and IRMAA is only part of the story. At the same time, many retirees discover that more of their Social Security benefits become taxable. Now they're paying taxes on income they assumed would be tax-free. Their Medicare premiums are increasing. Their tax bill is increasing, and they find themselves wondering why retirement is becoming more expensive than expected. This is why I often tell people that retirement planning is not an investment conversation. It's a tax conversation. It's an income conversation. It's a planning conversation. Let me give you an example. I once spoke with a gentleman who had done everything right. Strong career, large retirement account, no major financial problems. He assumed retirement would be simple. When we started reviewing his situation, we discovered that future withdrawals could potentially affect not only his tax bracket, but also his Medicare costs and the taxation of his Social Security. Nobody had ever shown him how all of those pieces interacted. He wasn't alone. I see this all the time. Good people, smart people, successful people, people who have spent decades building wealth. Yet nobody ever sat down and explained the relationship between taxes, retirement accounts, Social Security, and Medicare. The reality is that every dollar of retirement income is not created equal. Where the income comes from matters. How it's taxed matters. When you take it matters, and that's why proper structure becomes so important. One of the biggest themes you'll hear throughout today's presentation is flexibility. Flexibility gives you options. Options give you control. And control helps you make better decisions. When retirees have flexibility in how they generate income, they often have more opportunities to manage taxes and avoid unnecessary surprises. When all of their assets are concentrated in one place, those options become more limited. Again, this comes back to preparation. In the Army, we didn't wait for problems to appear before we started thinking about solutions. We planned ahead. Retirement should be no different. The goal isn't simply to maximize retirement income. The goal is to maximize what you actually get to keep after taxes, healthcare costs, and other expenses are accounted for. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much money flows through your retirement plan. What matters is how much stays in your pocket. And that's why Medicare, IRMAA, and hidden retirement taxes deserve far more attention than most people give them. They're often invisible while you're working, but they can become very real once retirement begins. And that's why IRMAA is retirement risk number 3. Remember, education changes outcomes, strategy changes futures.